throw up the agenda. Can everybody see that?
Yep.
Can you read it all right?
Yes.
Well,
Okay.
I have. So I want to see. Why can't I see you all?
Is it on another screen? Because I shared my screen.
There, now I can see it, but I'm keeping
Okay.
mine up.
All right, so we have the April minutes, which have been on the Google Drive. Do we feel good about accepting those minutes? I think those are the ones that Scott worked on, maybe.
Where is that?
So, is everybody okay with accepting those minutes?
I think I move we accept them, but God, I can't find stuff here.
Can I add something to the agenda?
Yeah.
Can I add that collaborative event that we were talking about at the TU camp about like the Hunters of Color partnership?
Yeah. You can maybe just tell the whole board about a little bit about it and kind of what you're looking at.
Yeah.
So yep, I just added it to the agenda.
Thank you.
Yep.
Oh, Karen, my name is spelled with a K, not a C.
Thank
Sorry.
you. I love people who read for detail. Thank you. And congratulations on your new job, young lady. Cool.
Thank you. I'm still figuring it out, but it's been a weird
Who
transition.
is your actual employer?
Hunters of Color is my new employer. So I'm their national programs director.
Not a part of Backcountry Hunters and Anglers.
No, but we do partner with them.
Okay,
they're
good.
one of our sponsors, partners. So
great. I'm just glad you're going to stay in the Valley.
Yeah.
Okay.
So do we need to move to accept these minutes by acclamation?
Yes, please. So can I get a motion to accept the minutes?
So move.
Okay, in a second.
Who was that? I'm sorry, I can't look at this.
Mark.
Oh, thank you, Mark.
We have a second.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor of accepting the minutes?
Aye.
Aye.
Yes.
Okay, any opposed? Okay, we're good. Okay, and we got the agenda change there. Does anybody have anything they want to read into the record?
Don, you're on the call, right? Thought I saw Don's name there.
Yeah. Oh,
Yes,
we have
I am.
Don.
Sorry,
Sorry, yes, I am. I was trying to figure out how to unmute. Yep.
Yeah,
That's
we have
okay.
Don.
I'm still figuring it too. The chamber did get the check for our membership. They just they put it down in a different place where I couldn't see it. So we're all good.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, so we have Don Schoderbeck and Don Harville on the call. Karen.
Don Schnoderbeck. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And congratulations on your new job, Don, right? All right. Where am I?
Yes. Thank you.
Good. So you're not working at Arc Anglers at all right now, correct?
No.
Okay. Good for you.
Yeah, no, Monarch offered me full time and I'm working up there, which has been good. It's been really good.
Good.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. Okay, so upcoming meetings and events. We have I didn't type any in here, but our September chapter meeting is set to go with okay, I'm spacing her name now. What? Michelle, yes, Michelle from Tumbling Trout. I actually went up, I did a Healing Waters trip in Lake George a few weeks ago and I bought her Subaruable book, and it's really good. It's actually really interesting. I'm gonna go scout some stuff out tomorrow on my way back from Denver, I think. So we have Michelle White set for September. October will be a board of directors meeting. November will be the end of year review meeting again. So we're kind of set for the end of through the end of this year. So we'll need to kind of start be thinking about, basically January chapter meeting and stuff. But I think we can worry about that later. So unless anybody has any comments on that, we can move on to new business.
Do we have a place for the year in review? Do we have Poncha reserved?
Not yet.
Okay.
I haven't done that, but if somebody wants to jump on that, I'm fine with not doing it.
I guess I can call and see if it's available.
Okay.
November
Thank you.
13th.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be November 1st. It would be the second Wednesday. Okay, it's like Gene is joined the
Yeah,
meeting.
sorry
Welcome.
I'm late.
No
We
worries.
got
Welcome.
grandkids and company.
All right. Well, we're going to try to make this quick, so appreciate your coming. All right. So first item on here is kind of a notification and a first round of recruitment that Karen is going to be stepping down as secretary after her term is up in November, and so we need somebody else who might be willing to step up and become secretary and join the executive board. If anybody on the call, or if you know of some people who might want to join the board and jump straight to the secretary, that would be great. So if anybody wants to volunteer right now, I'm happy to take that, but otherwise just think about it. And I'll continue to hound people on that.
For the newer members, could you just give like a 20-second rundown of like the basic duties of secretary, like what that entails?
Yeah, Karen?
Pretty much just take the minutes. Chris has been
Okay,
doing the agenda now.
But I'm happy to pass the agenda back off.
Yeah,
So that would be potentially, at least collaborating on that.
right.
Okay.
And then
It's not very difficult.
um,
And if his AI works, that'll be great. You can just edit. You don't even have
Yeah.
to type, but
yeah, we'll see how that looks. So yeah, something to think about there. If anybody's, feel free to talk to me and or Karen about it to get a little more details. But we'll be working on that recruitment here over the next couple of months. So then next item up is the shed cleanup. That's kind of the big one for the day, I think, is trying to figure out a date to do that shed cleanup. And I was hoping to maybe do it in July. And we don't have everybody here, obviously, but I can see both.
could you send out a doodle with some dates that work for you, Chris?
Yeah, I can do that. That's a good idea.
I'm typically off on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, if that helps with dates. But I love organizing and cleaning. So
There you go.
Pam Simpson offered to help too, especially since there's some old records in there that she could help us decide on or not. So she kind of gave me some ideas of dates, but I'll include her in whatever scheduling we do, and we can get that figured out.
As probably the most frequent user of the shed, I certainly would like to help limit the
Yeah.
amount of stuff that's in there.
Yeah, definitely. There's just a bunch of stuff I think it just doesn't need to be there. So
And there should be a clipboard hanging in there with the last inventory that we did that could be edited.
Oh, really? Okay.
or I can
Oh,
send
okay.
it.
All right. Okay, yeah, so I'll send out a doodle poll on that. Actually, I want to back up a little bit here, and just mention, in as relates to the secretary position, is that there's a person who has been helping Keith with his Riverwatch, named Ricky Garden, who is a member and is interested in potentially joining the board. So I don't know if she would want to go straight up to being secretary, but she's really motivated. Like she came in and sat in on the Colorado TU April board meeting she just came and listened to the whole thing. It's because she's interested. And she's a river restoration engineer and is a really cool person. So I'm going to be talking with her. I just haven't had a chance to do it yet about joining the board in general. So she might be an option for the secretary. But
What was her name? I'm sorry, I had a call.
Ricky Garden.
Yes, I know Ricky.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She
I
was at our
remember.
last year in review.
She's great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. She's really
really
cool.
cool.
Yeah, she's helped out with like the cleanup, cleanup and that kind of stuff. So, anyhow, I kind of,
I saw Ricky this morning for our Riverwatch stuff. You know, she's working now for the county full time,
is
so
she?
that
Okay.
limit some of the things she's going to be doing from here on out. But I agree, she's very nice, very motivated, and very capable. At least when she's helped me.
Cool.
Is
Well,
she
that's
the
good to know.
person I
I'm
met?
glad she found something.
She's the one I met Chris when we were at the cleanup
Yeah.
day. Yeah,
Yep.
she's fantastic. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, great.
So yeah, I just haven't had a chance. I kind of proposed her joining the board at one point, and she seemed, definitely interested in doing it. So we just need to kind of nail it down. So, all right. So that being said, 4th of July Derby is coming up. We sent out just a general email post, and I know some of you have indicated that to me that you emailed that you're going to help us out, and I appreciate that. If anybody else is planning on helping but hasn't notified me yet, if you could please do that. I'm going to be putting together a list. We got good response from the email from other members, so I think we're going to be in pretty good shape as far as volunteers go. But I would appreciate if you could let me know, if you haven't already, if you're going to be there or not, helping out, so we can use all the help we can get. So I don't think we can have too many people out there. Last year we definitely had people sprinting back and forth trying to get to kids with fish to measure and stuff. So the more people we have, the better. If you can't, no problem. But if you can, just let me know.
I cannot. I'm in BV
Okay.
doing 4th.
Aaron, Ricky's name is spelled conventionally Ricky, and her last name is Garden, just like the garden.
That's right. I have her in my contacts. I just,
CKY.
thank you.
This secretary role is looking more taxing than it was originally portrayed. All these spellings.
That's an unusual spelling, however.
CKY.
It's CKY, RICKY.
CKY.
Yeah.
I tried to spell it special too, and she said, no, just RICKY.
Okay. So yeah, just let me know if you can volunteer, just shoot me an email and let me know, and I'll put you on the list. And then I'll be sending out a an email with kind of plans and agenda and things like that. Dan Clegg has been helping me with the organization, but he's out of town for until like the 1st or something like that. And I'm going to be out of town the 27th through the 1st. So I'm going to try to get everything as dialed in as I can next week before I leave.
Did your request go to the whole membership or just board members?
No, to the whole membership. We
Okay.
sent out an email, just a general email blast.
Okay.
So, and we got quite a few people that responded.
Great.
So it's something that are new.
So we do have quite a few volunteers. Is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's always people that just show up to do it because they've always done it. And we kind of have a list of people from the last couple of years, so we'll hope we have those people. But I'm going to be working on getting a list of trying to assign people to different jobs and that kind of stuff to make sure we're fully covered.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So next on here is I'd sent out an email. Upriver was contacted by Fly Fusion, which is the people that put on the IF4 Film Fest, about another film fest they do, a fall one that's basically all trout films. And the kind of the response from the board in general was sort of lukewarm to that, and that was kind of the response that I had and the Upriver guys had, was that it's like, do we need to do another one? Do we need to dilute the one that we're going to do in the spring? And we can't really do it as another fundraiser. So they're going to maybe do it, but they're going to do it on their own, kind of without us, which was kind of what we decided. Is like, if you guys want to do it, go ahead, but you don't need to do it with our name on it. One idea they had was that they would do it at the infinity pool at Mount Princeton. But I talked to Andrew today, and he said that the guys at Mount Princeton have kind of ghosted him. And then Jake mentioned that he knows somebody who has an outdoor projector system that they might be able to rent. So I kind of let them know about that, and so they're thinking about it. So they may or may not do it, but we kind of all, I think, had the feeling that it would just sort of dilute the power of the one that we do in the spring, and so it didn't have a lot of value to us. But it might be a fun community event for Upriver to do on their own. So that's kind of where we left it.
Chris, I have a question about the fall film. Are all those films predetermined, or do we get to select the ones we show?
No, it's predetermined. It's like the ones.
Yeah.
It's like the one in the spring. But these were. It looked like it was all trout fishing and like mostly Western U.S. rivers. So no peacock bass or tarpon and
Yeah,
stuff
that
like
would be a
that.
lot more interesting, I think. And they need
Yeah.
a little less testosterone, is some of the feedback I got.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
do you mean? 8 weights and techno? Don't
Yeah.
at the
The one
jam?
the one that really bugged me like that was there was one film where it was like a couple of husband and wife groups, and the husbands kept like grabbing the rods from their wives and like trying to help them. And I was just like, oh, this is not good.
I loved all the films in that spring event, but yeah, it definitely is. It made me realize
Good.
like, it is international, fly
Yes.
fishing film festival. So I always want to see a few more kind of like North American, trout stuff. But they had a great one. That one from Quebec, was amazing. So yeah, but
Yeah.
no, I'm kind of the mind too. I didn't chime in on that email, Chris, but yeah, we seem to have a little bit of momentum with like that spring IF four thing. And so it could be kind of a nice tradition. So, I don't know. If there's a low stakes way to kind of be like a supporter of the fall thing, cool, but without the whole kind of commitment of, really trying to push it. I don't know.
We can all buy tickets and support Upriver and go see it if they do it.
And that's what I'll probably do, Keith. Exactly. Yeah, I know it's a great point.
Yeah.
It's if I'm in town, I'll go watch some more trout movies for sure.
All right, so that's that. Then the other thing Gene brought up, that we need a new person to monitor the monotubes at Sands Lake and Franz Lake. And we can, unless somebody wants to step up and volunteer to do that now, I think we could certainly send out in the upcoming newsletter, we can send out a note on that. And so, Scott and Gene can work on some wording for that to get that out and see what response
So
we get there.
Becky doesn't want, I mean, Becky's sister, Barb Keller doesn't want to do that anymore.
She said she has some medical issue that
Oh, okay.
she's got to quit.
Okay. Susie Lauderdale is there a lot fishing.
Oh,
I
Yeah.
could reach out to her, and then we could still put it out because more hands make lighter work.
Right.
Yeah, loop us in. I mean, to be honest with you, I'm happy to hear. I've literally never used any of those tubes, so I'm happy to hear people are using them and they need monitoring. So that's great that the line is staying out of the water, you know. But yeah,
Yeah.
if you hear from, because actually Susie is contributing a little mentoring article with Jean's help, which I appreciate,
Right.
to the next newsletter about
Good.
the event that was there like about 6 weeks ago. So if you hear from her and she's willing to do it, cool. If not, we'll put it on the newsletter. And yeah.
Yeah, I can send an email to Susie, see if she's interested. And
Okay,
if
that'd be
not,
great.
I'll write up something and get it to Scott.
Great.
Perfect.
Great. Awesome. Thanks. So then, last thing on the agenda here is Bianca. I'm going to stop sharing so that we can all see each other. And then, yeah, Bianca, you have the floor.
Yeah, so one of the Hunters of Color ambassadors is also an ambassador for Ford Bronco, and we helped him write a grant towards an event. And we did get the grant. So as it stands right now, we have about the grant total was I think $10,000, and we're putting $8,000 directly towards the event. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can pull up this message. But it's going to be a collaborative event, hopefully. I've already lightly talked to Garna about partnering with us on it. And it's basically a combination conservation and outdoor. Let's see, where did that go? Oh, this is give me 1 second. I have like 4 email accounts that I have to sift through. Yeah, I'm not sure where the document is, but the overall event is going to incorporate archery, fishing, general outdoor skills. It's going to be an overnight camping trip on public lands. And then it's going to be sort of a fingers crossed conservation event with Chafee rec adopters to clean up public land. And we have about $8,000 to spend towards that event. We haven't done any hard planning of it just because people have been in and out of the office. But I was hoping that Trout Unlimited would want to come on board for this event just to do sort of like the fishing and or potentially river ecology portion of it. And we would probably be able to donate a portion of that money towards the Trout Unlimited chapter. But I don't know. I wasn't involved in writing the grant, and I'm not sure what the financial breakdown is of it as of right now.
So Bianca, for your organization, is there also an Anglers of Color or Outdoor Recreation of Color all under the same umbrella, or are they each separate entities, if at all?
So we don't have anything in HOC that's currently dedicated towards angling. In the 14 states with different ambassadors, they get to figure out what that relationship looks like for their state. And since I am on the Collegiate Peaks chapter of Trout Unlimited, and I've worked with the TU chapter since, I basically moved out here to Chafee, I've been trying to incorporate angling into most of the language that we do, just because I think angling is aquatic hunting. I think it's a great, entryway into outdoor activities. It's relatively low cost. You're able to feed yourself. It's, that's kind of how I started getting outdoorsy, is when I started fishing. Colorado itself as a state has been very deliberate to talk about hunting and angling.
Yeah, I think CPW has a dedicated person, don't they? An equity person, perhaps? Colorado Parks and Wildlife?
CPW, what is his name? It's ironically enough that statewide angler outreach coordinator is Hunters of Colors board president's ex-husband, and I have a pretty good relationship with him, and so does HOC.
That's true for me to figure out. Okay, well, that's good. A good connection.
Yeah, we have talked to him before, especially we connected at the Partners in the Outdoors conference, and he's also pretty on board. I'm also wrapping him into my master's project because it has an angler outreach. Andre Egley is his name.
What's the
So
oh, sorry. Like in terms of event details, is like what's the when, where, and how many people? Is it in Chaffey County? Is it
we're gonna
how many
either have
people
it
are
somewhere in the Chaffey County area, or Gunnison, but right now we're leaning towards Chaffey County around the Salida area, because it's centrally located and we have a lot of public land cleanup initiatives here, and I'm here, which is the bias. We don't
Sure.
have a where or when. We're trying to plan it like out with enough time that it gives us a good lead on making sure all of our ducks are in a row. So yeah. We
Gotcha.
barely found out we got the grant about 2 weeks ago, and we're still in the planning process for all of the back end logistics as to what's going into the program and how it's going to happen. But it is going to be a multi-day event.
Cool, awesome. So yeah, so and there's what are you thinking like for attendees? Is it like a large scale thing, or is it? I mean, is it 10? Is it 50? Is it?
I think 50 is going to be way too big. I think if anything, including hunters of color like ambassador and staff, I think we're probably going to cap it somewhere at around 20 to 25. And that's including like if a family of 5 comes, that's 5 spots taken up. We don't want it to be too big. And we want it to be pretty manageable since it is taking place on public land.
Cool.
What
So
kind of
what's
fishing, Bianca?
What kind of what? Sorry.
What kind of fishing?
I'm gearing towards fly fishing. Part of what we want to do is partner with Garna because they have the Chaffee Rec Adopters component as well as the gear library. So I think through the gear library, we're probably going to aim to use whatever equipment they have available, which I'm.
As you know, teaching fly fishing is different than spin casting. Applying that to fishing successfully is also something that's real different. And I don't know the age group. If we're talking about what, 8-year-old kids or 5-year-old kids, mom and
I
dad,
think
and
there's probably going to be more adults than there are children, but we are going to leave it open to like multi-generational. But if you prefer spin casting over fly fishing, like that's something we're definitely open to. And then Jake, I don't know what gear the gear library has to support that, but that's also a huge factor.
And where you fish determines those two.
Yeah, we haven't planned anything. I'm still reaching out for the partnership aspect of it.
So are you looking at the next 12 months or the next 6 months? I mean, it seems planning an event like this, it might be a little dicey to get that done in the right time frame, even if it's out September, October, as opposed to next year. I mean, I don't know.
I do think the funding has to be spent before the end of this year, but I'd have to check with the person who wrote the grant. But I think if anything, we were probably going to aim for the like around September, end of August, beginning of September.
well, based on the preliminary information, sounds like something that is covered with our mission is something we could help with. So preliminarily, I would vote yes.
Yeah. What sort of a time commitment are you envisioning the the volunteers from CPCTU being there overnight camping the whole time? And like what role do you see for our volunteers? Is there anything over and above just strictly just helping with fishing or?
No, I think just sort of talking about, just giving like an intro to Trout Unlimited, who we are, what we do, and just yeah, being there for people who are either new to fishing or need some instruction. But I think the fishing component is what we're asking for volunteers for. If anybody from Trout Unlimited wanted to attend the whole day and potentially do an overnight, we're totally open to that. But the time commitment that I think we would be asking for would probably be, I think at max 3 hours. And what I was talking about with Tony, who's the person that wrote the grant, is to have people on an optional rotation. So if you wanted to fish for an hour, you can fish for an hour. If you wanted to fish for 3 hours, you can. But there's other events going on at the same time. So that way people aren't necessarily all doing one thing. So maybe we'll do like half of the group goes to do archery and the other half does fishing, and then we'll sort of switch them out.
Cool. But yeah, I agree with Keith. I think, in principle, it sounds like something that's right up our alley and sounds like fun. Um, sounds like a great program. So, do you need something from us, like something formal, or as far as like a vote that says yes, we'll participate, or you mostly wanted to bring it up and get our take our temperature?
I think bring it up and get your temperature. I don't think it would be fair for me to ask whether it's a yes or no if we don't have anything planned. I have a meeting with Tony Ari on Thursday to try to see if we can flesh out some more details. So if it works for everyone here, just kind of muse on it, and I'll try to massage something a little bit more concrete, and then I can send it to TU, see how you all feel. And yeah, see if it's something that makes sense or if there needs to be a couple of changes in terms of the scheduling. And once we have a rough outline of the scheduling, then we'll work on some more concrete things like timeline and location.
Okay.
Great.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, I think it sounds great. So, there was one other thing I wanted to mention real quick, just so I thought of it was, last week was the Colorado TU conservation and fly fishing camp, which I went to. I was the cook's assistant and got my ass handed to me with that. It was that was a lot of work. It was like 16-hour days, but Bianca came up and did a really awesome fireside talk with the kids, and which is really great, and I think definitely really inspired a few kids there. And then I was able to talk a few times with our camper that we sponsored, Liza Zoller, who is from Leadville, who is wicked cool. And I talked to her real briefly about speaking at our September meeting, and she was like, real happy to do it. She's like excited to do it. Exactly. So, last year we had to kind of cajole the kids to talk to us, but Liza's a lot more kind of mature and outgoing than the girls were last year, so she's down with doing it. So we'll get her. Karen and I will work with her to figure out get her down to the meeting in September. But she was super cool and won some awards at the end of camp and everything. So
Cool.
yeah, yep. So does anybody else have anything to bring up or questions or
Is there any
comments?
update on the Monarch Ponds?
No, we got we
Okay.
got money. We got money from CPW. They actually sent us all the money because there was some weirdness with they didn't want to reimburse us for the dock until the dock was actually received. So they didn't want to reimburse us what we had spent until we actually got the finished product. So they sent us the entire 100,000 instead, which doesn't make a ton of sense to me, but that's what they did. So we have that, and then we'll just send back whatever. If we come out under budget, we'll just send back whatever we don't use at the end. That's how they wanted to do it. But I actually I emailed Chaz Hogenauer from the Forest Service yesterday or day before and asked him for an update, and he didn't have one. So he was going to try to find out from the manufacturer, and they're still working on finalizing the engineering for their part. So I think we're still looking at late summer for this probably.
So should we put some of that money in a CD?
Yes.
No, no,
No?
I don't think so. I mean, it's going to be, we're not sure when we're going to need it exactly. Because we're
Yeah,
going to,
it could be 12 months from now as opposed to end of summer.
it could be next month that we have to pay the second half of that dock once they finish manufacturing it, they want the second half. So,
I see.
so we don't know when that's going to be, but it'll be done this summer for sure. But we just don't have, I haven't heard, but yeah, I'm trying to get an update. And Jake, what you got?
Hey, I just wanted to update you all. The Gear Library had its first BIPOC Fly Fishing Club meeting this past weekend. We did a kind of one-on-one with ARC anglers this weekend, and we had about 7, 8 participants. Bianca was there.
7
If
or
I can,
70?
7 or 8, I can't remember
7
the
or 8,
exact
okay.
number. If I can share my screen really quick, I just want to share a few of the pictures from that day.
Yeah, please.
How do I do that?
Should be
I'm
on the
on Zoom.
bottom.
Oh, there it is. Okay. Okay, can y'all see that?
In a minute.
Oh,
Yeah.
Still loading. Yep.
There we go. Yeah, so we had a great day. They took us out to Hydro too. I don't know if y'all know Stuart Young. He was a
Yeah.
great guide for us. Caught a few fish, had a good time. And I'd love to get Trout Unlimited this chapter involved a little bit more. We're trying to look at least once a month for the next, few months while fishing's pretty cool. There's all of us looking around. Uh, I love that picture of me, just large and in charge there. That's the best one. Uh, so yeah, some good little fish out there. I think it's a pretty cool thing to have actually gotten done. And if there's any way that we can continue or at least look forward at collaborating a little bit more and hopefully getting some involvement from y'all to be a part of this, it would be great. I think it can only take off from here. So I just want to share that. Pretty successful weekend, and I'm really happy with getting it done. So
That's awesome.
my
Congratulations.
only suggestion,
yeah,
might want to change the name from brown trout anglers, since a lot of these people are going to be fishing for stock rainbows. And
right.
there's rookies and, whatever.
It's more on the thing of that we're brown people trout anglers.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
All right.
So it's a little bit more in there.
Gotcha.
Just a little play with the name though. But yeah, so just want to keep y'all updated with that. It's pretty fun.
Great. Congratulations. Yeah, and we talked in the past about doing this, and that I think the chapter as a whole is eager to do it.
Yeah.
And I know that there was a communication failure, which may have been my fault in terms of getting us involved in this time. So I'm really happy that you continued on and worked with Arc Anglers on it. I think it's a great way to do the first step. And this guy's Stuart's as good as they get as far as teaching new anglers. So
it's amazing what he worked out of me and my bad habits within 10 minutes. It's actually so impressive. I just had to laugh when he was like, do this one little thing, and it changed my whole world. So that's always fun.
yeah. So was everybody, all the attendees, were they English speakers, or did you have interpreters? Is that something you're working with, or?
All English speakers. The problem is right now is we're trying to find a way to get immigrants, undocumented people, the ability to fish without needing the paperwork to get a day license. So trying to work with CPW to figure out how do we make that happen? Because we do have that community here in Salida. Legally, it's a little blurry right now. So everyone is English speaking for now, but the goal is to continue to push to try and get more Spanish speakers out. Go ahead, B.
Jake, the prison has probably at least 40 Puerto Rican U.S. citizens working out there. You could call the warden or HR out there and see if you could get some of them or their families out there. Plus at Fading West.
Yeah, you're right. Good shouts. I totally forgot about
those are Venezuelans.
Yeah, the Venezuelans were Fading West, and then I remember the Puerto Ricans being pulled in to work at the prison. Bianca, you got your hand raised.
Yeah, when we were at the Partners in the Outdoors conference, I was talking to Andre Egley, who, if you weren't here earlier, he is the statewide angler outreach coordinator with CPW. And one of the things we were talking about is that he's pretty sure there is a way for people with varying migrancy status to be able to get fishing permits. And I was supposed to email him a while back, but that slipped through the cracks. So I can either do it or you can reach out to him yourself, but that's going to be the go-to person because he's statewide.
Can you email and CC on that so we can start the connection process?
Yeah, I gotcha.
I appreciate you.
Do this.
That's awesome. So if you get that to become a regular thing, are you going to try to do it like on a given day, like third Thursday of the month or that kind of thing, that we could maybe just have as a recurring calendar item that we try to fill?
Yeah, I got to do follow-up emails this week and kind of get a better idea of what everyone is looking for in terms of day. But right now I'm working with like trying to do consistent monthly things and like second Sunday for my bilingual hikes that I do with Garna. and every Wednesday for my running club, and trying to get a consistent pattern of dates. That way everyone knows what's happening every month and never changes. So once I figure that out, I'll let you guys know, keep you in the loop.
And Jake, there's a easy free online thing called Sign Up Genius that you
Yeah.
could use for people to sign up for particular times or dates and
Right.
events.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Great job. Great job.
Hey, thank you. Also, that leads to the next thing is how do we turn these folks into members of this chapter if they're not already? And that's kind of the question of like, if money's an issue, if anything else like that, how do we make it easier for them to be a part of this? Just something to chew on, I guess.
Yeah, I could talk with, or maybe we can set up a meeting with Barbara Luneau, who is the new president of Colorado TU, and increasing diversity and equity in TU is probably her #1 priority.
Mhm.
So she might have some ideas and be able to make some things happen in terms of lower cost. Because right now we have a half price membership available,
Yeah,
which is like $17.50, but
right.
we might be able to do something about that. So I know she's still digging out. She also runs the CTU conservation camp, so she's digging out from that, just like I'm still digging out. But yeah, in the next couple of weeks, if you can, Jake, hit me up on that, and I'll try to set up a meeting with her, and we can get some ideas together on it.
Yeah,
She was
sounds
really,
great.
I was telling her about the gear library, and Bianca talked about it when she was up at camp, and she was really excited about that. And
Nice.
so, yeah.
Very cool. Okay, well, that's all for me.
Past, I don't think it happened last year, but Stream Explorers graduates get a free 1-year youth membership. I'm not sure whether we were subsidizing that or not, but that could certainly be integrated into that program.
Yeah. Possibly. Yeah, I'm not sure. Who would know that? Would that be Pam maybe that would know if we were paying for those, or if they were maybe.
Tom Palker probably was up on more when we did it recently, so
Okay.
yeah, be the one to talk to.
Right.
I gotta go, guys. Are we done?
I think we're done unless anybody else has anything else.
Just one comment for Karen. The Salida Library returned our checks for deposit checks for the reservation for the September 11 meeting.
Because
They said that they're not even taking, she said that there was, and I don't know if there's a new coordinator, organizing those events or not, but she said that we need to fill out an application, and they're not even taking applications until July for the Salida Library.
it was 6 months and I sent that application, but I have. All right, I'll check into it. Do you know who that was, who it came from?
Yeah. I'll, just for,
Just send it to me or something.
yeah, just, yeah,
Find it.
yeah. I'll email it to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so
Anything?
somebody, she said, oh, here it is right here, actually. It's Susan Matthews.
Yeah, she's the head. Huh. That's interesting. I'll contact her.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
I would just add from the newsletter perspective, we've got a couple articles. We have one from Susie Lauderdale, who helped with Gene on the event at Franz Lake, and we have Karen contributed an article about the Tiller River camping outing.
It's a lot.
And yeah, no, hey, and we're always looking for more. So if anybody has anything they can dig up, or anything going on, or if anybody wants to write anything about what's in the works in terms of the gear library, I don't know if we haven't really featured the gear library at all. Like maybe we want to make some kind of announcement about that, participating in that. So anyways, Jake or Bianca, if you guys think of anything like that, let
If
me know.
people have donations to make to the gear library.
Yeah, I
Terry
mean,
Carlson probably
it could
has
be kind
20
of
rods.
It could be a foundation for support, you know, if there's a link to donate or whatever, like drum up some, let's drum up some money, let's drum up some support.
Yeah. Hey, Scott, could you email me? So I keep this fresh?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Cool.
All
And
about
yeah, that's it.
your
Just
last
wanted to
week.
mention that.
You could do an article, maybe do an article and some pictures from your thing last week, Jake. That might be cool.
Yeah, I was actually thinking that'd be probably a good idea. Just kind of feature a little blurb and then some pictures from that day.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. Anybody got anything else? Okay. Well, I appreciate you all coming and hopefully we'll be seeing you over the summer, but if not, have a great summer and we'll talk to you in the fall.
Thanks.
Cheers.
All right.